How's it going, folks? It is Matt back with another crypto video. Today I'm going to recap some of the major events from the DigiByte Global Summit that took place last Friday. For those of you that missed the live stream version of it, and for those of you wishing to actually watch the footage from the summit, I've heard that it will be released sometime next week, possibly on Wednesday. So when it is released, I'll provide a link in whatever video. I'll provide a link in the description of whatever video I'm making around that time frame, so that you can watch the actual summit. So special shout out to Crypto Deal. He's a member of the DigiByte awareness team. He's actually created the majority of the images that I'm showing in the video today. So just wanted to say thank you and fantastic job. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications, like it, share it, leave a comment, and let's get right to it. So one of the things that we learned about during the DigiByte Global Summit was some more information on the Odo Crypt algorithm. So for those of you unfamiliar with Odo Crypt, the way it gets its name is from Star Trek. There's a character called Udo, and he's actually a shapeshifter. So it makes perfect sense for this algorithm, because this algorithm recreates itself every single 10 days. That's good. That's a big deal, because projects with a single mining algorithm, such as Bitcoin, and that algorithm never changes, it allows companies such as Bitmain to basically create an ASIC mining farm. And ASICs, if you program them to do one thing, they can only ever do that one thing ever. But they do it very well, which is why companies such as Bitmain use ASICs. And when you have one company or one group of individuals that have an enormous warehouse full of ASIC mining rigs, it adds centralization to the network, because again, that's just one company that controls a massive amount of hash power for that algorithm. So again, that adds or gives them some small form of control on the blockchain. But that will not be the case with Odo Crypt, because again, ASICs can do one thing and one thing only. So you could use ASICs to mine DigiByte using this algorithm, but after 10 days, that algorithm recreates itself. It makes that ASIC useless. It can no longer mine this algorithm, again, because it can only do one thing and one thing only. So that's good for the DigiByte blockchain. It's going to allow just the average person, you and me, to actually mine DigiByte and support the network. So the more people that are mining it, the more decentralized the network is, the more secure it is, and that's a great thing. And projects or companies such as Bitmain have made it essentially, it's not impossible, but they've raised the barrier to entry for average people, making it extremely difficult to do. So if you wanted to start mining Bitcoin, you would need several $1,000s just to get started, just to make some sort of profit from it. But again, that will not be the case with Odo Crypt. It will be favorable for GPU and FPGA mining, which will allow the average Joe to get their feet wet and start mining cryptocurrency. Another thing that we learned about during the DigiByte Global Summit is the Dandelion update that is coming soon. If you're unfamiliar, this update called Dandelion will hide the IP address from the transaction, which will make it essentially impossible for someone to find that IP address and then track down where it came from, and then find you in the actual physical world and attempt to steal your cryptocurrency if you're holding a large amount. So I won't go too much into detail. Josiah Spackman did a fantastic job of explaining it in a very user-friendly way that all makes perfect sense. So I'll provide a link to his video in the description below, so you can watch it if you want to learn more about Dandelion. But again, in short, it hides the user's IP address, making it essentially impossible to find you in the physical location, or find your physical location in the real world. We also heard from Vertbase during the Global Summit. If you are unfamiliar what Vertbase is, it is a cryptocurrency exchange that offers fiat pairs for the cryptocurrencies that they have on their exchange, DigiByte included. So during the Global Summit, well, up until the Global Summit, we knew that they had US dollar pairings, and that was it. But at the Global Summit, we see this image here. It's kind of furry or blurry. Someone actually took a picture with their cell phone from the summit. This was part of Vertbase's presentation. But we learned that in addition to the US dollar, Vertbase will be launching the British pound and euro pairings for DigiByte and the other coins on the Vertbase platform. This will go live on May 1st, 2019, so it's just a few weeks away, and it will be available to customers in the UK, Austria, Germany, Slovenia, and Spain. We also learned that Vertbase has partnered up with the Digi Cafe, which, if you're unfamiliar with Digi Cafe, it's a point-of-sale solution. This will allow merchants to download the Digi Cafe application on either their cell phone, on their tablet, on their laptop, or basically any device that can connect to the internet and has the App Store. It allows merchants to accept DigiByte at the point of sale, but there's a slight issue with that, as merchants are still skeptical on cryptocurrency because of how volatile the space is, and with good reason. You know, the price could go up 10% one day, it could go down 6-7% in one day. So Vertbase has paired up with DigiCafe, and they're actually going to allow for merchants to settle their transactions into fiat currency. So that will allow DigiByte to be accepted at the point of sale. So the customer will spend DigiByte and the merchant will receive fiat. So that will allow merchants to start accepting cryptocurrency because it eliminates the volatility, because they're receiving US dollars or whatever fiat they've chosen to receive. So again, that's big news coming from Vertbase for helping us out in that sense to start gaining the adoption at the point of sale. We also saw a presentation from VID at the Global Summit. If you're unfamiliar, VID is ending document fraud. Basically, if you upload a document to the blockchain, a fingerprint is created from that original document. If someone changes a single character, letter, symbol, if a single pixel is changed on that document and you go to check it, within 5 seconds it'll tell you this document is fraud. It is no longer the original document. So that is how VID is ending document fraud. And during the Global Summit, we learned that they've taken it from the digital world to the actual physical world. So VID created this commercial. It's a fantastic commercial. I'll provide a link to it in the description so you can watch it. But basically, they're saying art is basically like a symbol of culture, and they've taken the part of what they put from the physical world into the blockchain is a Rembrandt painting. They took the Rembrandt Virgin and Child in the Clouds. They took very high quality photographs of it. They've uploaded it to the blockchain, and now if you are ever purchasing Virgin in the Clouds from Rembrandt, you will know within 5 seconds if that is the original painting from Rembrandt or if you've bought a very good knockoff. So again, VID is ending fraud. It started off as just the digital world, but they are now moving into the physical world by validating if art is authentic or not. So we also saw a presentation from Block 30 Labs. In the presentation, we learned that on the roadmap on Block 30 Labs, they said that they're actually progressing much faster than anticipated. So that's good news, and it's, as they pointed out, that's rare in today with the cryptocurrency space, as it seems more projects, more times than not, are a little bit behind schedule. So it's nice to see Block 30 Labs staying not just on schedule, they're actually a little bit ahead of schedule. So Block 30 Labs is actually going to list or issue their own currency called BLOCKS, which is powered by DigiByte. So BLOCKS will be a DigiAsset once DigiAsset is fully launched and live for the public. And this is a look at Block 30 Labs' website. They're going to offer the Block 30 Marketplace, where you can list various assets, you can buy and sell assets. And cool thing about Block 30 Labs that they mentioned in their presentation is that they actually studied companies like Alibaba and see how they did things. They've looked at how customers age 40 and under consume media and what they're looking for, and basically as user-friendly as it can be. That's what the millennial demographic essentially is. They want point and click, push a button, you buy it, push a button, you sell it. So they're making this very, very easy, very, very user-friendly, and I think it's going to be very big once they do officially, launch and go live with their marketplace and the BLOCKS currency. They also allow customers to invest in their indexes, such as the Block 5. So as an example, one-click investment. That's what new customers to cryptocurrency want. It is all way too confusing, where you need to buy crypto over here, sell it, transfer it over here, exchange it, and then transfer it to another wallet. People just want it to be user friendly. One click, you're invested. So that's what Block 30 Labs is doing. So if you tap to invest this one button and you purchase some of their Block 5, that gives you access to all of these currencies that are held within the Block 5. So if you buy the Block 5, you're investing in Bitcoin, Litecoin, DigiByte, Cardano, and the blocks currency. So it's very easy for new investors to just push a button, buy it, and then they're holding multiple assets all in one currency. So that's a very cool concept, and I think again it'll be very big. Block 30 Labs is also working on Block 30 Pay, which we also learned they are working with DigiCafe in this sense. DigiCafe is going to help Block 30 Labs create the Block 30 Pay platform, and just an example of how beneficial cryptocurrency actually is. If someone is buying this bicycle here that's listed for $2,500, if that customer wants to pay with MasterCard, then they pay that $2,500 fee. Same thing with Bank of America, same thing with PayPal. If they choose to pay with Bitcoin, it's a little bit cheaper, $2,370. But if they pay with blocks, which again is running on the DigiByte blockchain, that bicycle will cost them $2,150. That is again due to the very low transaction fees on the DigiByte blockchain, and by using cryptocurrency you eliminate the middlemen of MasterCard, Visa, Bank of America, who also tack on their fees on top of that. So using cryptocurrency is going to be cheaper for the consumer. It will allow the merchant to put more money in their pocket, again because they're not paying these third-party fees. So another thing that we heard out of the DigiByte Global Summit, this was from Anthem ID. We just got some updates on the extension that they created. Microsoft Edge has approved the Digi-ID Anthem ID plugin, which if you're unfamiliar with this plugin, I'll provide a link to a video I made last week that shows you how to use it. Basically, through this plugin and through a application that you download on your cell phone, you can now log into basically any website out there, Twitter, Facebook, Coinbase, so many different websites out there using Digi-ID, Anthem ID, and it will generate a random password for you. So obviously, first time you want to use it, if you're generating a new password, you'll need to go into your settings and change your password to the new password to be able to log in using Digi-ID, Anthem ID. So one of the big things that I thought we learned about during the DigiByte Global Summit was around DigiAssets. And I was actually watching it live, and I got to see Jared Tate create the world's first and the world's second DigiAsset, and I watched it all live. So he pulled it up here. He created an asset called the DigiFlame, which again is the first DigiAsset on the DigiByte blockchain, and then he also created the DigiTorch. So I got to watch both of those be created. It was very cool and exciting to watch. If you're unfamiliar with what DigiAssets is, it will allow the user from within the DigiByte mobile wallet to instantly create digital assets. It will allow for the creation of ICOs, it will allow for the creation of security tokens, and like I was just saying, the Block 30 Labs blocks currency powered by DigiByte, it's going to be a DigiAsset. So the first two assets that Jared Tate created, again, was the DigiFlame, and he actually sent the DigiFlame, like once the asset was created, he showed us you could see it on the blockchain, like it was created, it's there forever now, and then he sent this DigiFlame to Rudy Bauman. So we actually got to see the transfer of the DigiAsset over to Rudy. Jared Tate also created the DigiTorch. Again, this is a single DigiAsset. There's only one of them out there. There will only ever be one of them out there. And we got to see Jared pass the DigiTorch over to Block 30 Labs. So Block 30 Labs is the official holder of the DigiTorch DigiAsset. And in the summit, Jared asked Block 30 Labs, once their platform is up and live and running, once there is the next major project that's going to build on DigiAssets, he asked Block 30 Labs to pass the DigiTorch to that next company. So it's going to be a cool thing to watch as the DigiTorch gets passed around from company to company, from startup to startup, building on top of the DigiByte blockchain. And this was not really talked about all that much during the DigiByte Summit. I think it was mentioned briefly for a moment, but it's just another thing that we have looking forward to in the short term. Vesti is a project being built on DigiByte's blockchain. As you can see, make rent, vest in your future. Basically, it will allow tenants to pay the landlord, landowner. You can pay your rent through this app, and I know people are paying rent through apps. I think Venmo, if I said that right, is one of them. But you're also paying a large fee on top of that because you're going through a third party. If you use the Vesti app, you're only paying the DigiByte fee. And as we saw, like that bicycle, when you pay with blocks, it ended up being cheaper than if you paid with MasterCard or Visa. The same thing is going to be said with Vesti, since there's no third-party vendor that the money has to be transferred through. The rent would actually be cheaper for the tenant because they're paying the small DigiByte network fee. There will also be features on Vesti for you to search for roommates. I think it allows the landowner to actually like search for good quality tenants. And it's just exciting. The actual demo version of this is going to be released sometime during this year. But that will wrap up today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was just a quick recap of some of what I felt were some of the more exciting things coming out of the DigiByte Global Summit. Oh, I also meant to say that Vertbase, I believe they said that they're going to start listing some Digi Assets as more assets start to be created once Digi Assets is live. So that's exciting as well. But again, that wraps up today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications, like it, share it, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later.